It's Wednesday, May 10th. I'm Priyanka Arabindi.
And I'm Juanita Tolliver, and this is What a Day, where we would like to wish Tucker Carlson all the worst in his endeavors on the Dying Bird app.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know you could play a video on that site that was longer than 10 seconds, but apparently if it is zoomed out enough, you can. And you get like a full 3 minutes. Who knew?
On today's show, President Biden said he's now considering using the 14th Amendment to end the debt default showdown. Plus, Senator Dianne Feinstein is set to return to the Senate after a nearly 3-month absence.
But first, a Manhattan jury found that former President Donald Trump sexually abused and defamed former magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll. He was ordered to pay her a total of $5 million in damages. We've talked about this on WAD before, but as a reminder, this story involves sexual assault, so if you need to skip ahead, you are totally welcome to do so. This was a civil trial over an assault that took place in a New York City department store during the mid-90s, and it has been watched very, very closely by people who are seeking accountability for Trump in this arena. Trump has been the subject of multiple allegations of inappropriate behavior, sexual harassment, and sexual assault by at least 26 women. That is a massive amount.
Sickening.
And yesterday marked the first time he faced any repercussions whatsoever for his actions.
Right. 26 women, sexual harassment, sexual assault over I don't know how many years, but you're right. This is the first time he's been penalized for his behavior because, you know, Republicans are still lining up behind him at the polls. But can you walk us through Carroll's allegations in this specific case?
Yeah, so she has been very clear this entire time. She asserted that Trump raped her, and when she came forward and wrote about it several years later, he called her a liar, he said it didn't happen, and made several just disgusting comments about her. When her case finally made it to trial late last month, she gave at times very emotional testimony to the court about what happened to her. And the 6 men and 3 women who made up the jury believed her. They took just a few hours to reach their unanimous verdict. That is very, very quick. I will note that they didn't find that Carroll sufficiently proved that Trump raped her, as she alleged, but they did find that the institute constituted sexual abuse, which is a lesser charge under New York state law. They, of course, also found that he defamed her when he called her case a, quote, complete con job and a hoax and a lie on Truth Social. They found that Trump should pay nearly $3 million in damages to Carroll for the defamation claim and around $2 million for her civil battery claim.
What has the reaction to this verdict been?
So Carroll released a statement afterwards saying, quote, I filed this lawsuit against Donald Trump to clear my name and to get my life back. Today, the world finally knows the truth. That, however, is not how Trump is seeing it. After avoiding the trial in person, he took to Truth Social once again to say that he has no idea who Carroll is. He called the verdict a disgrace and, quote, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. Predictably, this screed was all in caps. He also added that he will attempt to appeal the ruling. This also directly precedes a CNN town hall scheduled for tonight that Trump is supposed to be a part of. It's been billed as the first major TV event of the 2024 presidential campaign cycle. Several people are calling for them to cancel it in light of this verdict. Others are hoping that he gets grilled on the subject, but he absolutely should be. But this is Donald Trump. Like, he probably will end up defaming Carroll, saying a bunch of toxic, abusive shit about her in this unchecked town hall forum. And that should be enough to make the people who organize this and anyone, who's considering watching be really afraid of what could happen here. As of our recording time, the town hall is still going ahead as scheduled. We'll keep you updated on what, if anything, comes of it. But I, for one, am not looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
I feel like when he walks on the stage, the intro needs to be that he has now been found liable for sexual abuse and defamation, and also the organizer of January 6th. I just want people to run down everything. Tried to steal the 2020 election. This is who he is.
If it's not made extremely, extremely clear, then CNN has done a disservice if that is not abundantly clear from the get-go.
Right, but how much do you want to bet he cancels? Dead ass. A girl can dream, but I got a feeling. But in part 2 of Failed Republicans in Court, CNN was the first to report yesterday that Joanne the Scammer is facing federal charges and is due to appear in court in the Eastern District of New York as early as today. And when I say Joanne, I'm obviously referring to the most infamous scammer currently occupying a seat in Congress, Representative George Santos of New York. Like, of course.
Yep.
Naturally, these charges supplement the local, state, international, and congressional investigations that Santos has faced all within his first 4 months as a member of Congress. Honestly, this has got to be some kind of a record or something, right? It's giving historic in the worst possible way.
I know, like, I don't even want to say that because he's like probably proud of it, but It really is crazy. But, break this down for us. What are the charges? What do we know here?
That's the thing. The charges are sealed, which is absolutely no fun, but it's also pretty damning. Like, what are they hiding from the public? How bad can it be? Nonetheless, we know that it's federal criminal charges, so it's likely going to be pretty dang on bad. We also know that the federal government has been investigating Santos for months. Last December, it was reported by ABC News that prosecutors with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of New York began a federal probe into Santos's finances, specifically reviewing potentially false statements from campaign finance filings from his 2022 congressional race. While federal prosecutors didn't confirm or deny the investigation at that point, we magically have these charges that were filed yesterday. Additionally, other federal entities have been looking into Santos's finances and lies, including a Politico report back in February that 2 FBI agents contacted a man who accused Santos of allegedly stealing funds that were raised to save the man's dying dog. So this could be about campaign finance violations, stealing from a man and his dying dog, or any of the other lies Santos has told.
Yeah, like truly so many to pick from. But what does this mean for Santos's seat in Congress? I feel like is the big question here.
Look, I don't think it's time for us to chant, "You about to lose your job" just yet. So hold your horses.
Ugh, but I want to so bad.
Especially since that decision is likely going to be up to the House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, and his extremely limited 5-seat majority. When asked about the charges in Santos's future in Congress yesterday, McCarthy stated, quote, "I'll look at the charges." So don't hold your breath, y'all. The other factors at play here are how quickly court proceedings progress and what type of punishment Santos could face for these unknown criminal charges, because if there is any jail time before the 2024 election, then McCarthy will be down a seat with his slim majority anyway. Of course, we'll keep following all of the Santos legal drama just for you, but that's the latest for now. We'll be back after some ads.
Hey, it's Laura Coates, host of The Laura Coates Show on SiriusXM POTUS, where we go beyond the soundbite. We break down everything, politics and the law and pop culture. It's what you care most about. You can listen to The Laura Coates Show at home or anywhere you are. No car required. Download the SiriusXM app for over 425 channels of ad-free music, sports, entertainment, and more. Subscribe now and get 3 months free. Offer details apply.
This spring, transform your outdoor space into a regular gathering place for you and your loved ones with help from Ashley. Whether you're into wicker, teak, or driftwood-inspired furniture, we've got the look you're going for. Add in accessories like string lights and beverage tubs to take your patio party from basic to curated, and enjoy cozy evening vibes with a new fire pit. Visit Ashley.com or stop by your local store and find affordable pricing and expert support today. Shop and save today, only at Ashley.
Curiosity pushes you forward, leading to new discoveries. Mayomi uses the best that Coastal California has to offer, which has resulted in wines that taste like no other. Enjoy the bold flavors of Mayomi Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, Red Blend, and Mayomi Bright, Mayomi's new lower alcohol Pinot Noir. Discover the unrivaled taste of Mayomi at shopmayomi.com. That's shopmeiomi.com. Mayomi, flavor forward. Please enjoy responsibly. Mayomi Wines of Campo, California.
Let's get to some headlines.
Headlines.
First, more devastating news following Saturday's outlet mall shooting in Allen, Texas. Families and officials have shared the names of the 8 victims who were killed. Among them were sisters Daniela and Sofia Mendoza, who were just 8 and 11 years old. Their mother, Ilda, was shot and remains hospitalized. Cindy and Q Cho, along with their 3-year-old son, James, were also killed. They were at the mall to exchange a birthday gift for their older son, William, who just turned 6, I believe. William was also struck by gunfire, but survived. I believe he is the lone surviving member of his family at age 6. The other victims include 20-year-old Christian Licor, a security guard who was working at the mall, 32-year-old Elio Cumana Rivas, who had recently moved to the U.S. from Venezuela, and 26-year-old Aishwarya Tatikonda, a civil engineer from India. She would have turned 27 years old next week. Authorities say all 8 of the weapons found with the shooter were purchased legally.
All I gotta say is this ain't the world I want to live in.
No.
This ain't the world I want to live in, where children are dying, where entire families are being murdered, and all out of hate and access to guns, right? Like, it all comes back to that.
It all does.
Moving on now to the standoff over the debt ceiling in Washington, where a meeting between President Biden and congressional leaders ended without an agreement to prevent the government from defaulting on its financial obligations. Despite the lack of progress to stop an unprecedented economic catastrophe, the president and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy both agreed to meet again on Friday. McCarthy told reporters after yesterday's meeting he, quote, didn't see any new movement toward a resolution and continued to insist on sweeping spending cuts as a condition to not defaulting on the government's debt. President Biden, for his part, described the sit-down as productive, but also said he is looking at whether to invoke the 14th Amendment to bypass the current debt ceiling limit. It would be a risky move, and it could get tied up in legal issues that may take months to resolve. And frankly, time ain't on our side. The government could run out of money to repay its bills as early as June 1st.
Yeah, add this to the list of things that are stressing us out. After a nearly 3-month absence from the Senate, Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein of California is set to return to Washington today. Her return comes amid widespread calls from members of her own party to resign. Without her, Democrats have not been able to use their slim Senate majority to confirm Biden's judicial nominees, a claim that Feinstein has disputed. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer recently tried to tap Maryland Senator Ben Cardin to temporarily fill in for her on the panel, but Republicans blocked the move. Feinstein, who is 89 years old, has missed 91 floor votes since coming down with shingles in mid-February.
Billionaire Harlan Crow is refusing to show us the receipts. As we've told you on the show before, Harlan Crow is the Republican mega donor who paid for lavish vacations for Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, as previously reported by ProPublica. He was asked by Senate Finance Chair Ron Wyden late last month to detail all the gifts he gave to Justice Thomas over the past 2 decades. But in a letter sent to Senator Wyden Monday night, Crow's attorney declined to answer, saying, quote, "We have serious concerns about the scope and authority for this inquiry." Crow's attorney also called the request a, quote, "attempt to tarnish the reputation of a sitting Supreme Court justice and his friend of many years." In a statement released yesterday, Wyden said he was disappointed but unsurprised by Crow's unwillingness to respond and said Crow was stonewalling the committee inquiry. Wyden said he'll be sending a full response to Crow's attorney in the coming days, emphasizing that, quote, "nobody can expect to get away with waving off Finance Committee oversight, no matter how wealthy or well-connected they may be."
The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, an independent panel of health experts, has released new guidance for mammogram screenings. According to the task force, cisgender women and everyone else assigned female at birth should start getting regular screenings as soon as they turn 40. That is a big change from the current guidelines, which recommend screenings every other year starting at age 50. The change comes amid new research showing a rise in breast cancer diagnoses among younger women. And the new guidance could also help Black women specifically, who are more likely to develop breast cancer in their 40s and are also more likely to die from the disease than white women of the same age. So if you're in that age range, take a deep breath, call your doctor, and be sure to wear a comfortable bra for your appointment. Embrace the squish, everybody. It's a necessary evil. We have to do it, and it saves lives.
Right. Save yourselves. Get that early prevention. My mom is a breast cancer survivor, and I'm so grateful that a regular mammogram caught it, and we were able to get it treated. So go get squished, y'all. I know you're not going to like it, but just do it.
Just do it. And those are the headlines. is all for today. If you like the show, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, find a billionaire to pay for your next vacation, and tell your friends to listen.
And if you're into reading and not just the long list of George Santos's aliases like me, What a Day is also a nightly newsletter. Check it out and subscribe at crooked.com/subscribe. I'm Juanita Tolliver.
I'm Priyanka Arabindi.
And embrace the squish. Have you seen the machine, though, Priyanka? Like, images?
Listen, I haven't. All I've heard is that it's very safe and very good for you to do. Nothing else.
She said we're going to frame this positively.
Yep.
Because, yes, I appreciate that 100%.
Yep.
What a Day is a production of Crooked Media. It's recorded and mixed by Bill Lance. Our show's producer is Itzi Quintanilla, and Raven Yamamoto is our associate producer. Jossie Kaufman is our head writer, and our senior producer is Lita Martinez. Our theme music is by Colin Gilliard and Kashaka.